Hi, I'm Joe Crump. Welcome to my new video series. I sent out an email yesterday and I asked you to send me your most relevant real estate investing questions, and I got flooded with a ton of questions, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to read a bunch of them. I'm going to take 15 or 20 of them, and I'm going to create separate short videos with each one of these questions, and I'm going to send them out to you over the next few weeks so you can really get some good details about real estate investing, about the methods that I use, about the things that I suggest, and hopefully be able to answer your most burning questions about this process. So let's get started with the first question here. This one is from Mike Larpenter in Iowa. Mike says, with the economy going south on us, do you think rent-to-own and lease option, the niche that I focus on, will stay about the same, or will it suffer, or will it get better for us as investors? Well, that's a good question. Right now, as real estate investors in this economy, it's the perfect storm. There's so many opportunities right now for us, especially for doing the types of deals that I teach, which are all no down payment, no qualifying, no loans. We don't have to deal with lenders. You know, there's a big credit crunch right now. If you've been watching the news, you know there's a big credit crunch, and it's very difficult for people to get loans, whether they're homeowners, whether it's investors. Well, you don't need to do any of that stuff if you use the techniques that I teach with subject to, multi-mortgage, land contract, your contract for deed, and lease option. You also have to understand the different hierarchies that are involved. When you're buying a property, you're going to buy it one way. When you're selling a property, you're going to sell it another way. Mike is actually in my mentor program, and the way he's doing it, he's using the for rent method that we came up with, which basically says you go to a person who has their home for rent, and you ask them, would you consider selling your home rent to buy rather than just renting it? And we find that 1 in 3 of the people that we ask this say yes. We get what we call the lease option memo, which I created, just a one-page lease option agreement that allows us to assign our right to buy to a new lease option buyer. That makes us a principal in the transaction so that we can do it legally without a license. So we become a principal in the transaction. We then go out and find a buyer for our property, and we then assign our right to buy that property to that lease option buyer. And usually the way we do it is we take the lease option fee as our fee, and we give the first month rent to the seller. And we're in the deal, out of the deal. We make a quick, $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000, depending on the deal. So it's a great way to do it. So this is a great time right now for selling lease option, because there's so many people out there that don't qualify for conventional mortgages. If you go try to get an FHA loan, you can go try to get non-conforming loan. There's so many people with bad credit right now that don't qualify, but that would be great lease option tenants because they still have jobs. So what we're finding right now in this environment, there's a lot more people that want to buy a lease option. So we're not having a hard time filling them at all. The problem that we're having is being able to keep people in those properties, because there's a lot of people that are losing their jobs. So our vacancy rates have actually gone up, even though it's easier to fill the property. But if you're doing the for rent method, it's not really going to have an impact on you because you're not the one owning the property. You're not the one that's going to have to worry about the vacancy. You do need to make your sellers aware of the fact that there's a possibility there's going to be more vacancies because people are having, people are losing their jobs. So keep that in mind and make sure you disclose all this stuff, or you explain all this stuff to your seller, because when it does happen, they won't be upset with you because it did happen. They'll know it. They'll knew it was coming. Setting expectations is a very important part of this process. Anyway, that's all for this question. Talk to you on the next one.